Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Four people. Two people. Three people. Hello, EAP123, Matt Mick. You have many streams open? I finally got one with a good connection. Let me cancel if any of them are still on. No, I just have one. Only one that's live right now. Hello, Ortho Crystals. Yeah, I came to a place in my room where the signal is good. I live in a third world country called Texas. There's no live streams on. It's showing two. No, I only see one. There, I deleted it. It's gone. I'm only seeing. I deleted one. That's it. You can stop bringing it up. There's only one. It's not really YouTube's fault. It's just I have shitty internet. You know, I'm gonna defend YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna go on a limb here. I'm gonna defend. Don't attack YouTube unfairly like that. Come on, let's be nice here. Let's be nice. So yeah, this is basically like initially you guys hear me from the. You know what? Hold on a second. What the? Let me see if this works. I can get these headphones on here. Let me see if this works here. Does this work? Hello, hello. Input. Can you guys hear me? Are we good? We have 5 people on. Can you guys hear me? You can hear. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm using this to better my thing. I'm a Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's drive-through employee. We're here to take your orders. What would you guys like to order here? You know, that actually looks like really easy work, but it probably isn't. I don't think I actually have a new respect for people who work in clothing stores because recently I had to do some help installing some hardwood floor, and it basically involved me standing for hours and carrying wood and boxes of hardwood floor. And I must say, I'm thinking, imagine working in a clothes. I used to think working in a clothing store would be easy, but it's like you're standing for hours, dealing with customers. You have people going into what is it? They're going into the dressing rooms, and they're like, I don't like this stuff, and they're trying out like 20 different pieces of 20 different pieces of clothing, and you got to go take all that shit back and put it back to the on the hangers. I mean, it's a nightmare. And then you got to listen to that soul sucking pop music for hours every day. It's like living in hell. You know, it's like I don't know if you guys ever are familiar with Key and Peele, but um, you like to order the news. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Key and Peele, but there's a skit where they're in a club and they're dancing to techno music, and they're like, "Oh, this is fun," but then they can't escape and they're just dancing forever, and then they realize they're living in hell. Yes, but, you know, the ruble's at an all-time high, which doesn't surprise me at all because it's like I don't really see how the I gotta get these things adjusted right. I don't really see how the Russians were really going to suffer from these sanctions because Russia has great economic relations with other countries, with China. China is one of the biggest economies in the world. Russia is the #1 producer of wheat on earth. So how could that country starve? They have all this wheat. They're agriculturally pretty self-sufficient. I just don't see how they would just suffer tremendously with the sanctions. They pay me in rubles. I'm paid by the Russians. My father hasn't been able to do the Sunday lives. He's been busy with stuff. Yeah, and the other thing is that Russia has all this natural gas. All of Europe is dependent on Russia for natural gas, and so it's like when you're the #1 exporter of wheat in the world, when you're the #1 producer of wheat, when a huge chunk of the world is dependent on you for natural gas, how the hell can you be pressured? You have tremendous power. India has stopped the export of wheat to private companies as the wheat production has been hit due to the heat wave. Hasn't India also increased its purchasing of Russian wheat? The funny thing is that Collective West thinks that sanctioning the Rus by withdrawing Apple, Amazon, they are doing something delusional. Poland do not care about the Russian gas. Okay. Is Poland buying Russian gas? Or what? Yeah, you guys are still getting Russian gas through your allies, by the way. Poland is still getting gas from Italy, from France, so you guys should be caring about Russian gas, my friends. Not anymore? How are you guys getting gas then? What are you guys getting it from? Because you guys are getting it from other countries. Germany definitely cares. Turkey definitely cares. Is it true that Putin has cancer? How the hell am I supposed to know? I heard that Putin has Parkinson's disease. Or something like that. Was it Parkinson's or Alzheimer's? No. What is it? How would you prove it? This is like when people were saying, oh yeah, Hillary Clinton is crazy or something. Because she bounced her head around and told people to drink chai tea or something. I mean, if Russia is producing all the world's wheat, how could you effectively harm that country? Yeah, Putin has cancer, he has Parkinson's, he has multiple sclerosis, he has AIDS, COVID, HIV, monkeypox. That's the new thing right now is monkeypox. Everybody's worried about monkeypox. Hopefully it won't be a big deal, but there's two strands of monkeypox. I should have said this in my video yesterday. There are two strands of monkeypox. There's the Congo variety, and then there's the West African variety. The West African variety is very mild, only has a 1% death rate. The Congo variety is like a 15% death rate, 10, 15, 17% death rate. And if you're unvaccinated, it's really high. It's like up to, I think, 17 or 23% death rate. And right now, we're dealing with the moderate strand, right? We're dealing with the less severe strand. Putin, as the Western media is giving its portrayal. Thoughts on Church Militant? Thoughts on Church Militant. Okay, I have a lot to say about Church Militant. I used to be very fond of Michael Voris. I thought he was a great guy. He was one of the guys that helped lead me to Catholicism, believe it or not. Started listening to Michael Voris when I was in high school, I want to say. I'm pretty certain. I was like in high school when I started listening to this guy. I liked what he had to say about the Inquisition and the Crusades. Thought he was great. Loved his videos. I used to watch the Vortex video every single day. I used to watch, because he would come out with a video every day. That's his thing. And it would be, it would be the intro music, and then it would be Michael Voris would come with his little pencil, and he would say, "Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Voris. Welcome to the Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed." I'm surprised I still remember that. So I listened to him all the time, and then I thought he was great. And my goal was to talk to him. I wanted to talk to Michael Voris. So I used to do subs. I used to sub for different radio shows sometimes. And this lady I knew who had a radio show in Seattle, was it in Seattle, Washington, somewhere in Washington State. She asked me to sub for a radio show, which I did. And I took that opportunity to invite Michael Voris on. So I invited Michael Voris on, and I said, "Do you want to come on the show?" He said, yes. He came on the show. We had an hour-long interview. We talked after the show. We had a great conversation, and he said, "Why don't you come on my program?" And I said, "Awesome." So he brought me on the program. We did the interview, and my interview with him got like 48 or 50,000 views, something like that. It was insane. It's still on his channel. You can look it up. And thought he was great. I had no issue with him whatsoever. And then one day I see this thing where he's bringing in Milo onto his show, and I called him up and I said, "Voris, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you bringing this stuff up?" And he got upset with me, and he ended up just ending the conversation, and that was it. Nancy Pelosi got excommunicated. Where? When? I don't see. Hold on. There's nowhere here where she got if she got listen, she's not excommunicated. That's nonsense. It just says that Archbishop Cordileone has barred Nancy Pelosi from taking communion. This is not excommunication. This is just the Bishop of San Francisco, the Archbishop of San Francisco, saying no communion for Pelosi, which means nothing. But the Archbishop of San Francisco, I think he's a great guy. He's the only Catholic leader that I respect, Archbishop Cordileone. I think he's great. I like what he has to say, and I think he is probably being persecuted by the institution itself. Didn't Milo renounce his homosexuality? I guess. I don't know. I don't really believe him, to be honest. I don't believe him. You can criticize me for that or tell me why I'm wrong for not believing him, but I don't believe him. Church militant or only have militancy when it suits their interest. I don't like any of these people, It's like, you start EWTN. EWTN is like the middle of the road Catholic station. They're nice to everybody. They have nice Catholic programs. They'll have some documentaries here and there. And that's it. And what Michael Voris did was he said, okay, EWTN is not representing this group of Catholics. I'm going to represent those people. That's what Michael Voris did. Good evening, Robbie. I don't really care about Church Militant. I rarely ever watch those people. The satellite imagery over Ukraine, you're talking about the bodies in Bucha? They're going after a man named Michael Parrott. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. I have an undiagnosed disease. Oh, great. Tell me what it is, doctor. Oh, it's a joke. Yeah. You have a disease. You need a vaccine. You need a vaccine, guys. But I read a little bit about monkeypox, and this is what I find interesting about monkeypox. Monkeypox was first recorded in 1958. Before 1958, there were no cases that we know of monkeypox. Here's the thing: the first case of monkeypox was not in Africa. It was in a lab in frickin' Copenhagen, in monkeys that were being researched. Not in Africa, in Copenhagen. And then all of a sudden, Africa gets its first monkeypox case in 1970. Someone explain this to me. Someone explain this to me, please. How do you go from, well, there are no cases of monkeypox in Africa, 1958, we find monkeys with this disease, and then all of a sudden, it pops up in Africa? It just doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any sense. None of this stuff makes any sense. How do I know they didn't start experimenting on Africans? How do I know they didn't take those monkeys from Copenhagen and release them back to Africa? That doesn't make sense. There's something very fishy about that. Yeah, and I tried to dig more into this, and I guess I'm going to have to look it up in the Dutch language or something to figure this out, or the Danish or whatever, because in the English language, I find nothing. I look it up. I look up the history of monkeypox, 1958, Copenhagen, and it's like, well, it was first found in monkeys in a lab, and then Africa gets its first case in 1970. It's like, well, I'm not supposed to be suspicious about that. How do I explain this without sounding like a loony conspiracy? It's impossible. It's impossible not to sound like a crazy kid. Listen, there is no doubt in my mind that COVID was leaked out of a lab. I have no doubt about it. I did the research. I read a really long article by Vanity Fair on this, okay? And you should read it. Look up the Vanity Fair article on COVID. Where did COVID come from? And COVID, from what I have read, COVID started out naturally in bats in this city, in these caves, in this area of China. I don't remember the name of it. Yunnan, China. And Yunnan is like 1,500 kilometers away from Wuhan. And the bats don't go to Wuhan. So how the hell did COVID end up in Wuhan? Turns out that the first cases were right next to the lab where they were messing with this stuff. I have an eerie suspicion about this monkeypox stuff. Hopefully this is just the media wanting a story so they can have a reason to exist. And we don't have to worry about this. And it'll be like the Ebola scare in 2015. Remember in 2015, everybody was talking about Ebola? AIDS came from monkeys. Yeah. Supposedly it came from monkeys. We actually don't know exactly where it came from. Maybe somebody had sex with a monkey up in Africa. I heard that joke up in Dave Chappelle. I heard that joke from Dave Chappelle. When HIV first popped up, they were saying it was the gay virus. Now they don't say that. They say, oh, it's not a gay virus. No, it's just a virus. We don't really know. I used to get frustrated when I was first reading about COVID, and people would say, we haven't seen anything like this since the AIDS epidemic. It's like, what do you mean the AIDS epidemic? You mean a virus that came from a behavioral virus that killed a bunch of innocent people who simply got blood transfusions? This is AIDS. You can't compare AIDS to COVID. AIDS is not spread through respiratory drops. AIDS is a behavioral disease that sadly infected people who were completely innocent because they got blood transfusions that were infected with this stuff. But the monkeypox stuff, it definitely kind of freaks me out. It definitely freaks me out. Nobody eats bats in Wuhan. You're absolutely right. That was a myth, but that myth was spreading around the internet. I remember, oh look, Chinese people are eating bats. That didn't happen. That wasn't happening. Of course, they have to spread some. I don't want to say racist, but that's really what it is. I'm looking for a different word for it. They have to spread some sort of meme that implies some kind of stereotype about Asians. Oh, look, they eat dogs over there. They eat bats. Oh, look, what are they eating now? And you had a bunch of idiots online. All this happened because some guy in China was eating a bat. And Spanish flu came from World War trenches and was reported first in Spanish newspapers, hence the name. Yes, I know. That's why. Actually, I think it really came from America, the Spanish flu. Bill Gates predicted a smallpox would be next pandemic. Bill Gates said that? He said the next one will be smallpox? Fact checked. I'm going to see if Newsweek agrees with you. Did Bill Gates predict the monkeypox outbreak? In May of 2022, multiple social media posts reported that Bill Gates had recently warned of a smallpox attack. Some of those commentators implicitly hint at Gates' purported role on the spread of monkeypox cases reported in Europe and the US. Many of the posts are tied to pre-existing conspiracy theory narrative, blah, blah, blah. Okay, get to the point. While Gates has talked about the possibility of bioterrorist smallpox attacks in the past, his comments have been drawn slightly out of context and don't mention monkeypox. 2021, during a policy exchange interview with chair of the UK's Health Select Committee, Jeremy Hunt, Gates warned government should prepare for future pandemics and smallpox terror attacks. Okay, so we talked about smallpox terror attacks. I'm not sure if you can tie this in with monkeypox. Who checks the facts, though? The media does. They know everything. Don't you know this? But this stuff can spread. It can spread. Here's the thing, though. It can spread through large respiratory drops, meaning you would have to have a substantially long conversation with somebody close to you in order to get it. You would also, another way that you can get monkeypox is blood transfusion, which means people having sex. This thing can be sexually transmitted. Didn't Fauci and his friends ask Wuhan labs to investigate possible SARS-CoV editing? What I heard was that there was a lab in Texas. They sent some scientists to Wuhan to inspect the lab, and the Texas scientists said that this lab needs to be reinforced because something can leak out. So they knew beforehand that there was something that it was just bound to happen, that something was going to leak out of this lab because they didn't have all their proper safety protocols in line. QFID was documented in Nature Online Science magazine in 2015, documenting its creation in a lab in North Carolina. QFID? You mean COVID. It also documented that they were shut down because it was too dangerous. Yeah. Yes, you're correct. They were doing, if you're talking about COVID, yes, they were doing stuff in America with gain-of-function research, if I'm not mistaken. That's correct. There was a lot of this sort of stuff. Spanish flu came from the blah, blah, blah. Lyme disease ticks from a lab in USA 1960. Now they have spread around the entire Great Lakes region. Do you think a lot of people will die if this thing becomes a pandemic? Yes, it will. A lot of people will die. Now, it's the East African variant, which isn't that bad. What you have to worry about truly is the Congo variant. The Congo variant is it has at least a 10% death rate. It's pretty nasty. It's pretty nasty stuff. Here's a question I have for you. How do you guys find this stuff out? How do you guys find out all these these unconventional narratives about things like, oh, back in the Bill Gates said this in 2021. We know that a lot of gay people are getting this disease, which is, yeah. Rare monkeypox virus spread amongst gay men in London. Is this another Porton down experiment gone bad? Lab leak. Monkeypox was first seen in 1958, and then it popped up in Africa in 1970. It makes no sense. There's something very fishy and suspicious about the whole damn thing. We're on the internet. Yeah, but where on the internet? Where do you go to find it? The internet is a huge place. Thoughts on Vatican II and traditionalism? I don't like Vatican II. I don't like this stuff about not Muslims being a part of the plan of salvation, and I don't like any of that stuff. Traditionalism, I think traditionalism is okay if it's contained and doesn't escalate into some kind of fascist movement, because that does happen. What are the symptoms of the monkeypox? You start out with a fever, a really bad headache, and eventually your body will start developing these butt bumps, and they become these pus-filled bumps. It's pretty horrific. I heard that I've heard that monkeypox is not contagious until you start showing symptoms. In Nature magazine, it documented in 2015 that they planned on going to China because they got shut down in the USA. I think this was done to show a paper trail to Wuhan. You guys need to all become journalists. I don't know how you guys find these things. Chase Young, you are such a wuss. Awesome, man. Thank you. Yeah, but you can go on Google and you can search things, and you're just going to get like the generic posts, generic. So Google's pretty controlled. Yeah, Google doesn't really show much of anything. It just gives you the mainstream search results. That's all you're really going to get. Twitter is an interesting place to look at. Twitter will give you all sorts of stuff, but you guys need to become journalists. All of you guys need to start your own blogs and become journalists, or start your own YouTube channels, because you guys are better researchers than I am. 4chan, too many weirdos on there. I went there one time, and they were showing like weird anime porn on the top of the website, and I'm like, I'm out of here. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. Check out Abhit Iyer Mitra. He is a good analyst, but I don't agree with his standpoint, but his insights to geopolitics is good. So I just go on Google and I just look up stuff and I'm like, oh, okay, this is what I understand. Like monkeypox, this is where it popped up, blah, 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 blah. And that's it. You guys pop up and they're like, dude, in 1963, there was already research happening on this stuff. I'm like, how do you guys find all this stuff out? It's hard to explain where to find it. Translation, I get my stuff from 4chan. That's what you're telling me, because you should be able to explain where you find things. Arlene, didn't the recent Fauci papers that got leaked showed exactly what you said? His clique asked the Wuhan team to begin gain of function, blah, blah, blah. Ironic, monkeypox causes butt pustules, and it's prevalent amongst gays. Yeah, I know, it's a gay. It's become a gay disease. A lot of gays in America have gotten it, or the UK and Spain and Portugal. Question and answers. Abhit, Iyer, Mitra. What's going on with my chat? Ironic, monkeypox causes a top chat. Live chat. Ted, would you like to see a revival of the old Ethiopian monarchy? I don't really care. If they're not hurting anybody, it doesn't really bother me. Does not bother me at all. There's a lot to be said about all this stuff. I don't know. There's a lot to be said. I think there's going to be another pandemic. I think it's inevitable. I don't have to do a whole lot of research on this to make this prediction. It's quite obvious that there's going to be another crazy ass pandemic, and it's going to shut the world down again. And I think all these pandemics, all that they're going to do is they're going to further isolate the world. That's all they're going to do. They're going to isolate the world. They're going to push people further and further away from metropolitanism, and they're going to push people further and further away from globalization. And I think countries are going to become more and more isolationist. Think about it. It's like food prices go up because of a war in Russia, a war in Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine. And how does that happen, right? So people in America, they say, well, America used to be the world's breadbasket. Why can't America produce its own food? Why does America have to rely on buying wheat from other countries, buying food from other countries, buying produce from different countries? Why does America have to outsource so much of its stuff? And the next step is self-sufficiency. And I think this is going to be a path that a lot of countries are going to take. I want to see a revival of the old Bakersfield monarchy. Absolutely. Corn will be Corn's Freak on a Leash will be the national anthem. Nature magazine. That you're saying Lyme disease was also developed in a lab? If I type in COVID Nature magazine 2015, I get here SARS-like cluster of circulating bat coronaviruses from 2015. Engineered bat virus stirs debate over risky research. Nature.com. So it's right there. It's right there on the website. But the thing is, there, how would you find this in the first place? You know, people really did their research. You'd have to go back in the archives. That could be difficult. Interesting. About Lyme disease. Isn't Lyme disease, it's sort of like malaria. It spreads through a parasite. You see, yeah. There were people saying that it came from an isolated facility used as a military research lab. And that's considered a conspiracy theory also. But it's possible. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised at all that this is the case. I agree, Goods. I agree. The new fascism, it's not going to be like, it's not going to be necessarily a bunch of Nazis walking around. But yet again, I mean, the Ukrainian fascists in the Azov, they carry the Wolfswangel, they carry the old Nazi stuff, and you have literal Jews online, Jewish people online who are like, we have to help the Azov, they're defending them. It's like, dude, they're like literal, like the Azov battalion, they're almost, they are like the stereotypical goose-stepping Nazi. They got the Wolfswangel, they got the Black Sun, it's right there in front of your eyes, and it's literally being watered down by people online, by people in media. It's right there, and they're hiding it. They don't even care. I've seen Jewish people online saying, "Oh, we need to defend Azov." It's sickening. So I don't know. People are saying like fascism is going to come in a nice way. Yeah, I'm not going to discredit that, but I mean, we're seeing fascism with its ugly face, and it's being accepted as proper. It's being accepted as something that's okay, as a means to an end, as something that we have to do because we have to fight the Russians. Like we're seeing, it's like World War II level logic here. If you search on YouTube, Mirror, Dr. Rashid Buttar, it was discussed in 2015 that this should not be done. This has the evidence from nature. Okay, buddy. I got it. Rashid Buttar, he talked about it. I understand. I get it. Yes, gain of function was something that was researched. It was something that was done with COVID. That is a fact. It is also a fact that the Obama administration shut that shit down. Okay, Obama wasn't that bad. Obama was bad, whatever, worthy of criticism. No one's exempt from criticism, but Obama, I miss the guy. I miss Obama. He's my favorite president. The Obama administration shut that shit down, and guess who revived it? It was the damn Trump administration. That's who revived it. The Trump administration revived gain-of-function research. And initially, the scientists were saying that this is wrong, that this shouldn't be done, gain-of-function is evil, it's dangerous, blah, blah, blah. And they shut it down. And then when Trump got in office, some of these same scientists came out and said, no, it's not bad anymore. We need gain-of-function. I have seen this. There's a Jewish guy on YouTube. What is his name? He's always talking about Ukraine. He's blown up in his following online. What's his name? He's always doing these little quick videos. He's always doing these little YouTube shorts. He's like, why does a Russian tank blow up the way that it does? Well, if you actually look at the design of the Russian tank, and I'm saying this from 20 years experience as a tank gunner major or whatever. He always does these shorts. He will support Azov. There's a Jewish woman on Instagram. Her name is Alicia Timochenko or something. I forget her last name. But she does this thing called Cook for Ukraine. She's a chef. And if you look at her food, it's like deconstructed Slavic food. It's like, yeah, this is really borscht. It's I'm going to blend the beets together and put it in a bowl and call it borscht or something. And oh yeah, deconstructed. Oh, look how intelligent I am or something. Timoshenko, that's her name, Alicia Timoshenko, and she has done several posts on YouTube, on Instagram, saying we have to defend the fighters of the Azov battalion, the fighting in the Mariupol. It's like, this is literally like somebody saying, "Oh God, the Russians are invading Germany, and the Germans are doing their final stand. We have to help them. We have to help." No, F that crap. That's bullshit. I don't feel sorry for those people. I don't care. I don't care. You know, the Azov guys surrendered because they were starving and they were living like rats in a sewer and under those pipes. I have not set up the OBS screen sharing. I have too much shit that I get occupied with. But eventually I'll look into it, trust me. There are also Christians who support jihad. Yeah, of course, people who support a bunch of... There's loon bins who support all sorts of crazy stuff. What was I going to say? Today I had a conversation with somebody, a Ukrainian person. I interviewed him. I'm going to be posting up the interviews in parts. This guy is a former member of Ukrainian intelligence. His name is Vasily Pozarov, I think his name is. Very interesting guy. He has a very interesting Telegram account that you can follow. It's called Ukraine Leaks. UKR Leaks. Leaks, Leaks. And I wrote this guy and I said, "Would you like to talk with me?" And he said, "Sure." So we did an interview. We spent about an hour talking. I had somebody there to translate because he doesn't speak that much English. Although I think he speaks more English than he reflects, because there were moments where the translator would be telling me things and then he would correct the translator. And I'm like, wait, he told me he doesn't speak English. I think you speak English. But I'm starting to talk like that crazy professor from Slovenia. Yes, Marx wasn't that bad, but you see, in the Hegelian dialectic, I'm starting to look like that guy because my nose keeps itching. But this guy was telling me, this guy's Ukrainian, and he was telling me about the Nazi culture in Ukraine. And he said that one of the heroes of Ukraine is a guy named Roman Shukovich, and he was a leader of the OUN. And this guy has a stadium named after him in Ukraine. I mean, he's praised as a hero. So he was telling me that the Nazism of Ukraine penetrates all of society. It's all there. But here we are saying Ukraine is okay. And they have, like, every year, they have this huge rally in Ukraine where thousands of people get together and they march for Stepan Bandera's birthday, and they carry torches and they say, "Glory to Ukraine, death to the enemies, glory to Bandera, glory to the OUN," all these things. And these very people will deny what the OUN did. And it's all there. See, that's the thing that drives me crazy, is when I tell people, like, listen, Nazism is coming back. They're like, where is it? Where is this fashion? Like, okay, look at freaking Ukraine and watch how supposed liberals are supporting this stuff or minimizing this stuff. It's right there, and they minimize it. So people are like, the future fascism will have a nice smiley face. That's possible. I'm not going to deny it. But it also wouldn't surprise me if fascism comes with its obvious ugly face. Because look at how the world has justified Azov's existence. What is your opinion on the Night Wolves motorcycle? I have no idea who those are. Any advice on staying calm in the face of ignorance, seeing all these Europeans supporting Azov? Very simple. Do not throw your pearls before swine. It's just that simple. Do not throw your pearls before swine. If somebody's willing to have an honest, good faith discussion with you, then have that discussion with them. But when you start talking to people who start twisting facts and they act like sophists and they change the subject and do a bunch of whataboutism, I don't waste my time. If you look at the ideology of Azov, they have twisted communist views mixed with their Hollywood version of Nazism. They are LARPing neo. Oh, stop it. Oh, stop it. Stop this nonsense. You want to defend? Please. Please. Enough. There's a great book that you can read, and I'm not trying to talk you down. Okay, I'm being sincere here. This is not an adequate consensus, and this is not an adequate assessment. There's a great book that you can read on this. It's called Nazism and the Maidan. It's Nazism and the Euromaidan. Great book, written by two scholars. I think both of them are Ukrainian. Two academics. The book came out, I think, in 2015 or so, and it gives you the exact ideology of the group that preceded the Azov Battalion. It was called the SNPU, the Social National Party of Ukraine. And that party is what sort of foreshadowed Right Sector and Svoboda and all these things. And if you look at their ideology, it was all about the supremacy of the Ukrainian race, why the Russians are not really pure Slavs because they're mixed with Mongolian, and how the Ukrainian race must have world domination. Yes, they were talking about world domination and a greater Ukrainian empire that would reach all the way to the Caucasus Mountains and all this crazy shit. They have, their heroes were all people who collaborated with the Nazis. They're not praising Joseph Stalin. They're not praising Lenin. They're not praising Marx. They may have some socialistic ideas, but that is something that is inherent in many different collectivist ideologies because they have a collectivist ideology. They're not LARPing. Okay, these are Nazis. I don't know how much it takes to prove that to you, or how many black suns they have to wave around to convince you. But those people are Nazis. I don't know why that's so difficult to see. Putin support the Night Wolves motorcycle gang. They are Russian nationalists. Yes, there are nationalists in Russia. No one is denying that. However, the innocent civilians are. Ukraine isn't innocent. Yes, Ukrainian civilians, I do feel sorry for them. On this, and I don't agree. Yes, those guys are not. There's a book, Dr. Matthew Raphael Johnson writes on Ukraine. He predicted everything that is happening now. Good for him. Matthew Raphael Johnson. Mr. Johnson. Let me look this guy up. Ukraine. What did he say? Ukrainian nationalism. He wrote a book in... Oh, I'm looking at the book here on Amazon. It came out in hold on a second. This book came out in 2019. This is way after the 2014 Euromaidan event. Maybe he wrote something before this. I'm not sure. But this book came out in 2019. So this is not exactly very predicting. Looking at this book, on the description on the Amazon page, it says, Ukraine from a Russian Orthodox nationalist like myself has been, this guy's a Russian nationalist, it doesn't sound Russian, but okay, has been hijacked by Westerners and Unionists who loathe all forms of national assertiveness. Fox nationalists, okay, sure. So the Ukrainian nationalists aren't really nationalists because they're not hit what he deems, they're not like, they don't fit his view of what a nationalist is supposed to be. I don't know. No such thing as Nazis unless you're World War II German. This is like saying there's no such thing as fascism unless you're Italian or something like that. Oh, sorry, I didn't put the word neo in front of it. Let me just, fine, they're neo-Nazis. How about that? Can we agree? All right, end of discussion. Putin is bugged with NATO's inconsistency. Attack on Iraq without UN approval. Yeah, I know, America's full of shit. Oh, so that's your whole point. Your whole problem was, they're not Nazis. Say neo-Nazi. This is like when Greeks get mad when you say Macedonia. North Macedonia. Do not call it Macedonia. Don't call it. I'm going to crack your brain like macadamia nut. Yeah, okay. Okay, buddy. Don't say Macedonia. Like this Ukrainian guy I was talking with. He said he didn't speak English. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy or anything. He's a great guy from my impression of him. But he said, I don't speak English. I need to translate. So I got a guy to translate. And the Ukrainian guy was saying that he This Ukrainian man sold some pretty horrific shit, and I should have asked him to detail it more, but I didn't want to press him further because it's kind of a sensitive issue. But maybe in my next conversation I'll ask him more about it. But he said that when he was in the intelligence service, he watched 2 Russians being tortured to death by the Ukrainian security service. And the translator said, by men in the Ukrainian military. And this Ukrainian former intelligence guy was like, no, not military, security service, not military. And he was dead serious. Like, no, it wasn't. No. And I don't blame him, because when you talk about people being murdered, you better get all your details straight before you start making the explanation. Theo, have you seen that Key and Peele? Yes. Macedonian, Albanian, yes. You cannot have the Chivapi by the mother sons of bitches across the street. Yes, I did watch it. Macedonia, I'm going to break your head like a macadamia nut if you do not call it what it is. It is North Macedonia. This is real Macedonia, where Alexander the Great was born. Real deal Macedonian. It's true, though. True Nazi of World War II and neo-Nazis are different. And yes, neo-Nazis have beer bellies. And here's the difference between a Nazi and a neo-Nazi. The Nazis are, for the most part, dead, and the neo-Nazis are alive. But ideologically speaking, they're pretty much the same. Yes, they were pro-Russian separatists. Absolutely, they were nationalists. Absolutely. Can Russian nationalism be toxic? Yes, absolutely. Hey Ted, I just found out my great-grandpa was Ukrainian. Should I be like Slavo? You need to first beg for forgiveness for even identifying as a Pole. You need to ask for forgiveness for having any Polish blood. And anytime you meet a Ukrainian, you must make the sign of the cross and say Slava Ukraina 3 times and ask for forgiveness for anything Polish that's within you. Neo-Nazis have beer bellies. Well, the Ukrainian Azov guys, those guys are pretty military fit. I mean, those guys are no joke. Theo, have you seen that German comedy movie about Hitler waking up in? Yes, I did. I thought it was insane. How long have I been talking for? It's been about an hour. Okay, guys, I have something special to show you. This is the reason why I did the live stream. The reason why I did the live stream was not to give you the news. Guys, this is very special to me because somebody on this live stream recommended to me this beer. I have not had a beer all week. Okay, this is the first beer I've had since Sunday. This is a Hamm's beer. Somebody recommended this to me. Someone said, Ted, it's a great regional beer. I think it comes from Minnesota. It's called Hamm's. Real American beer, guys. He recommended this to me. I tried to find it at a grocery store. I couldn't find it. And then I went to another grocery store one day and I saw a 6-pack. And I said, oh, I'm going to give this a try. So, guys, we're going to be trying Hamm's beer. Oh, you want me to play the dulcimer? Real American beer, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. I haven't had a beer all week. This is the first beer that I've had. And I'm enjoying it with you guys. So here we go. So let's give this beer a nice review. Got a nice golden color. A great head on top. Has that yeasty smell to it. Like a bread, like when you're making bread and you mix the yeast in the water and the flour, and the yeast has been sitting for a long time. I don't smell any indication of hops. Let's give it a taste. Let's give it a second taste. Has a very light beer taste. A slight sweetness. There's a buttery sweet aftertaste that goes down the throat. I'm LARPing, guys. But this is a most excellent beer. I love this beer. They need to sell more of it in different states. It's mainly a regional beer. but they need to sell more of this stuff. This is amazing stuff. The thing is that the more beer that I try, because I try all different types of beers. I tried German beer, Mexican beer. I've tried Central European beer, Czech beer to be specific. I've tried Japanese beer, Chinese beer. I've tried, what else? What else have I tried? Italian beers. And I noticed that the Germanic beers are all dark and heavy, and then there's the Irish beer, which is this Irish beer sucks. There's not a lot of beers that I can say I don't like. I do not like Irish beer, specifically Guinness. I do not like Guinness. I think Guinness is garbage. It's too sweet. It's too rich. The Italian beer that I tried last time was excellent. It was the Moretti, the Birra Moretti, which was excellent. The Czech beer, I tried the Czech Far beer, and I tried the Pilsner Urquell beer, both of which were great. The more beers that I taste, the more that I realize how much I appreciate light beer. I like a light flavored beer. I don't like a heavy, thick beer. I can totally see now. I can totally see why now. Let me rephrase that because my English is garbage. Now I can totally see why so many people like light beer. A lot of people drink light beers. Germans, I've tried different German beers. I've tried the Polenners, I've tried the Stefaners, I've tried I think those are the same thing, I'm not sure. And I've tried the Vollsteiner, and I've tried all these different beers. And German beers are very dark and very rich in flavor and sweet. And then there's the Irish beer, which is garbage. And then I tried the Sapporo, which is Japanese beer, which is similar to Guinness in flavor, which is overly rich, and I don't like Sapporo. But the Czech beers, the Italian beers, this stuff, it's all very light, and it's very pleasant, I must say. It's not heavy on the stomach. You don't feel like a German neo-Nazi thug in a bar after you drink it. It feels very pleasant. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be screaming, Du Hast after drinking this. This is a most excellent beer. And if you live in the States, you should try to find a 6-pack of Hamm's. This is a great beer, and it comes in a nice can. It has a nice, buttery, sweet aftertaste going down the throat. Slight sweetness in the beginning. Little to no hops. I don't think there are hops in this. There's little to none. It's just very, very unhoppish, which is good. I'm not too crazy about IPAs. Are basically beers that are super hoppy, very hoppy. I do not like IPA. I mean, the only IPA that I tried that I do like is the Voodoo Ranger, which is nice. Some IPAs are good, don't get me wrong, but there's something about them that when I drink them, I feel like white trash after drinking it. I don't know why. There's something about it. I can't explain it. It's not a nice feeling. But they're okay. Don't get me wrong. They're not bad. But this is my ideal beer. Light, slightly sweet, refreshing. That's what I'm looking for in a beer. I think Texas Lone Star is going to be my go-to. I think from now on. I think Texas Lone Star is where I'm at because Texas Lone Star is cheap, it's light, and it's refreshing. It's similar to this in flavor. I think I'm going to go with that. I think we're good. It's official, folks. Ted actually likes light beers. He hates fascism so much it affects his beer choice. Guinness is a stout and not a beer? Okay, whatever it is, I don't like it. Wait, hold on. It's not a beer? I thought... It's a beer, guys. I think they call it a stout for some political reason. I don't know, but... They have a most excellent house Polaner. Ooh, nice. Whatever Guinness is, I don't like it. He likes light beer. I have not tried Miller Lite. I refuse to try Miller Lite because I've heard that it's almost like drinking carbonated water. I refuse to try Bud Light either because it's like carbonated water. But this is a good balance. Russian Imperial Ale was my jam for a year. I have not had same. I have no wine. I don't like drinking vinegar. Spotted Cow. Ooh, I gotta try that. LARPing hard. Have a friend that loves the Ham's special light beer. He gets it in St. Louis. I give this beer a 10 out of 10. Solid 10 out of 10. It really is remarkable. Somebody told me to try it. Like, Ted, you got to try Ham's. So I watched some reviews. Some people said it was great. Some people said it sucked. I wanted to try it for myself. Found it at a store as a 6-pack. Bought it. It's amazing. Does it taste like ham? No. That's like the other side of the wood bark. Vodka Ruskies make. Nothing like a mini fridge handy while doing it. Yep, I have this mini fridge here. This is where I keep my kombucha and my beer, and I keep cheese, a little bit of cheese. There's a most excellent cheese here that I have, guys. This is excellent cheese. If you ever go to the store and you see this stuff, now I said I don't like the Irish beer stout, okay, but it's the beer. Let's be real here. It's called Kerrygold Dubliner beer. It's an excellent cheese from Ireland. Excellent cheese. American cheese is that yellow stuff. I don't know. That stuff looks like poison. Grain Belt is a good Minnesota beer also. Looks Who's Back. It's called Look Who's Back. I see. That's the best. That's the beer of the Midwest. Ear. Interesting. It probably goes well with ham. Probably does. We should all develop a non-alcoholic IPA called LARPer. That would be awesome. But I wouldn't make it alcoholic though. I'd make it like a 4% beer, maybe like a 5% IPA beer, and I would call it LARPer. Theo, try a nice white wine, taking it by sips by eating a piece of cheese. I've done all that stuff, guys. I've done it all. I like wine. Here's the thing. The wine that I like is sweet. I will not drink Pinot whatever it's called, Grigoire, whatever the hell it's called, Gregorio, Pinot, whatever. I will not drink any of that stuff. I like sweet wine. Sweet wine where I can taste the grapes. That's what I like. I don't like this vinegar shit that people say, oh, yeah, it's wine. Soju. What's soju? Some people in the chat really, really want Ted to drink wine. Dude, I don't have any wine here. Actually, I lied. Here's some wine, guys. But I don't have a cork opener. I don't have a corkscrew, so I can't open it up. Sorry. Slava LARPer. Remember Sobe? Remember that drink Sobe that they used to? Remember that? It had a lizard. Oh man, that brings so much memories. Does that even exist? Sobe? Does that even exist? Or did that go out of business? That was all the rage back in the day. Like everybody, Sobe. Oh, you got Sobe, coconut. I remember my favorite flavor was the coconut Sobe flavor. Do you like Indian food? Yes, I do. I like the garam masala. I like, there's a dish that you guys make. I said you guys, I'm assuming you're Indian. I'm assuming you're Indian. There's a mustard green dish. What's it called? Mustard green. What's it called? Saj. There's a dish called Saj that I've tried that's okay. Now, this is not an Indian dish technically, but it is a curry, and it is delicious. It's from Pakistan. It's called nihari. And nihari, guys, next time you go to your Asian supermarket or you go to the Asian section at your grocery store, try to find nihari curry powder and make it with some beef. It is so damn good. Take beef and boil it in water and with onions, and then add of course, scrape all the muck out when you're making the broth. And then when it comes nice and clear and translucent, add the powder to it, the nihari mix, and then just let it sit and boil with it for a while. And then take some flour toast the flour so it becomes like a golden brown color, and then mix it with a little bit of water and make a roux, and then add that roux into the pot and eat it with some naan bread. Oh, so good. So good. Soju is like it's a Korean drink. Is it beer though? Is it sake? Rice wine? What is it? Ooh. Soju is a clear, colorless, distilled alcoholic beverage. Oh, so basically, I'm guessing this is sake. Made from grains of rice, wheat, or barley. Modern producers often replace rice with other starches such as potato. Oh, like vodka. Oh, it's distilled alcohol. Nice. Next time I go to the alcohol store, I'll try to find. I'll look for soju. Ted likes Indian food, Indian girls, and yet he doesn't like the religion. Ooh. Pakistan is just Muslim India. XYZ does not like hams. What? Goodness, sorry about that. What beer would you recommend? If hams is such a garbage beer. I think it's a good beer, guys. It's refreshing. It's a great beer. It has a great flavor to it. I don't know what the problem is. Dante Alighieri's book Divine Comedy shows the hypocrisy Catholic Church on occultism. You blame the Jews for Kabbalah and practices which I don't condone. First, remove specks from your eye. Kabbalah is going to be evil no matter who practices it. So I don't know why we have to make this a Catholic Jew issue. I don't like Dante. Some Catholic tried to argue with me and said, "Oh, it's the gods of paganism are used as a what was it? What was the argument? It's used as like a prop, for a good story or something like that." It's like, really? Wow. Let me just put Bab Pullman while I'm at it. All American beer is pasteurized. XYZ, where are you from? I'm interested to know. Yes, I did. I made a video, although I didn't really give I wouldn't say I did the dish that much justice when I did that video, in all honesty. There is a Nazi problem among traditionalist circles that's really turning people away. Yup, I know. I'm familiar with it. I saw it myself when I was in the SSPX. Thoughts on John Milton? I don't like him. He basically said we should have freedom to do anything we want as long as we don't hurt people, which is kind of a nonsense perspective, because we can allow whatever we want, but eventually there's going to be an ideological movement that will become big enough that it becomes dangerous to society. I don't really believe in this idea of complete freedom. I think it's a myth that we choose to believe. There's no country on earth that has complete freedom. You are against the SSPX. Yes, I am. I'm against the. I was in the SSPX for about 3 years, and they do have beautiful masses. I don't have an issue with their masses, but my issue with the SSPX, and one thing that although this is debatable, but I didn't really see any of the no SSPX priest ever preyed upon me. Let me just put it that way. When I was in the mainstream Catholic Church, priest preyed upon me. The problem that I had with the SSPX was that there was way too much Nazism. There was a priest that I met who literally collected SS paraphernalia. It was that bad. Milton was a little too Protestantism. Pilsner Urquell is an excellent beer. I agree with you. Freedom doesn't mean free to do what we want without rules and laws, etc. Oh, Milton. Oh, I thought you were talking about Mills. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Yes, I'm not a big fan. I think he denied the Trinity, if I'm not mistaken. He did Paradise Lost. Yeah. I don't like him. XYZ, are you German? Or where are you from? Or just a secret? That's a fine beer, lads. Fine beer, I tell you. I'm attending the traditional Latin Mass. All I care is about the beautiful worship. Well, I don't blame you at all for that. You know, I love the traditional Latin Mass. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, especially when they do the prefate. I don't remember the name. Preface, which is the preface before the before the main event of giving communion, which is a beautiful chant. I love the chant in the traditional Latin Mass. When I was in Italy, I saw it several times, and it was so sublime and so beautiful. The problem is not really with the Mass; it's with some of the people who are in it. But, what are you gonna do? Do you watch Matt Fradd? I don't know who that is. Guys, you guys always are asking me about, do I know this person? I don't know who any of these people are. I don't look at other people. When I watch you, yeah, I have Pints with Aquinas. Yeah, I've seen this guy before. Guys, when I look at YouTube, I don't really go there to watch people that much. I don't go on YouTube to listen to people's opinions unless it's a debate. Sometimes I will listen to certain opinions when I'm really researching something, but I don't like every day go and say, oh, what does this guy say about this political opinion or something? When I watch people give opinions on YouTube, it's almost always by people that I disagree with because I'm usually looking at the other side. I like to look at cooking and gardening videos for the most part. For you, in a previous video, you mentioned MLK being a Unitarian. I know he was a hypocrite. Okay, Rusty. I replied to that comment and I put the quote from MLK. Did you see it? I put the evidence. I gave it to you. I've noticed a lot of Trevor Green. I noticed a lot of the trad cat girls seem to dislike interracial dating and star at the couples. What? Yeah, Guinness is a beer. I don't believe that. No, it's not a beer. It's a stout. It's like, get out, please. I don't care. It's not a beer. It's an IPA. Tradgat girls dislike interracial dating. I've never seen that before. They stare at the mixed couples. Okay, who cares? I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. Like they trad girls look down on. I don't really give a shit what trad girls look. I don't know why that's important. I'm being real with you. It's a beer. Awesome. Thea, what's your thoughts on Christian cultural nationalism? In my opinion, I disagree with it. I don't imagine it being a thing in America. Christian cultural nationalism. I mean, it does exist. Yeah, there's plenty of people in America who identify as Christian and they're nationalists. Just look at people who voted for Trump. I mean, most of them probably identified as Christian, I would imagine. What are your views on the church father Augustine, who views on predestination and his writings worth reading? Guys, the battery for these headphones are about to die. Augustine, I like reading his letters. His City of God is by far the most tedious book I've ever read in my life. I couldn't read through the whole thing. I read through the first, I want to say like 12 books or something, and I couldn't go past that. I'm like, I'm done. I can't read this anymore. The guy has like a whole sentence that covers a page, and then you read the next page, and it's the same thing. It's just rewritten with different words, and very, very tedious stuff. I heard that he believes in predestination. I've never really studied it completely to come to that conclusion, so I really can't say much about that. But I can say that the City of God, if you want help if you need help falling asleep, read City of God. George, in a nutshell, he exposes evils inside and outside the church. So your argument is that he has to remove the speck. Yeah, that makes no sense because I've been bashing the Catholic Church for years now. I don't. I've bashed the Catholics more than I've bashed anybody. Maybe the Muslims have first place, but Catholics definitely have the second, if anything. What's your opinion on the Immaculate Heart? Um, I've heard it so many times when I was in the Catholic Church. I just took it as a immaculate heart. Like, what is the immaculate heart? I actually never even looked into this. Depicted pierced with 7 wounds. I mean, I think it's a beautiful thing. It's the suffering of Mary. So Mary definitely suffered watching her son being brutally murdered. Many of those trad cat girls mostly comment on healthy dudes. Dude, I have seen all sorts of shit. I've seen this whole idea of women liking men, like they only like dudes who are jacked. I agree that if you're a jacked dude, you're gonna have way more options. That's a fact. Okay. But I have seen good looking women with short, fat ass guys. I've seen good looking women with skinny ass guys who are from like Africa or something. I've seen so much shit that I don't buy any of this crap at the end of the day. I really enjoyed your commentary on Ukraine and giving your perspective. And I didn't agree with you. Thank you very much, Julius. I think Thomas Hobbes' book is quite interesting, Leviathan. I've never read it. I am not speaking to Ted, but others are divine. Oh, I see. Okay, I understand what your perspective is. Oklahoma jumps on shredding reproductive rights because Oklahoma has effectively banned abortion. Good for Oklahoma. Team Biden tries to turn the page on COVID. Matthew McFadden. I have nothing. Okay, there's so many boring articles on this website. I'm looking at Vanity Fair here. Yes, there's a bunch of Quebecois who have this disease. I think it's like 17 cases or something. Completely agree with you on the Divine Comedy too. It's total. I think it's just garbage. It's like you read the Divine Comedy and it's like, and then I saw a cave from which emanated a light that sprung out from the heavens, coming out of Almighty Jove's mouth. And then I saw a plethora of shades, tens of thousands of them, coming together as if in a spiral wind, spiraling downwards in a contagion of misery, within a labyrinth of all pain and suffering, all is above. And then I saw a wheel upon which were 3 men tied together, and it spiraled down towards me and said, "Oh, Dante, we are suffering here and in all the depths. In the depths are we suffering, in you do we call, in you do we see your eyes." It's just masturbation. That's all it is. Intellectual masturbation. Dante was flexing his literary skills. That's all it is. I don't give a shit about Dante. I think it's garbage. I don't see what the big deal of it is. People say, "Oh, Ted, if you lived in those days, you would have loved Dante." You know, I've heard people say stuff to me. I don't believe it because everybody reads freaking Harry Potter now. I see women who are like 31 and they're still reading Harry Potter. They read that shit. Like, you guys read it in the 5th grade. Why are you still reading that shit? Why are you reading it? What is the point? Oh, I still read it. What do you? I mean, I can understand you watched the film that was great. Whatever, you watched it once in a while. You think it's a great movie. You love the acting. But you're reading some book that you read in the 5th grade. It's like, oh yeah, I'm still freaking reading this crap. I'm still reading. Hold on a second, guys. Yeah, I have to. I'm gonna recharge my headphones here because the battery's kind of going out of whack. Oh, I picked this. That should be it. Okay. Can you guys still hear me? They're still reading it. They're still reading that crap. Like, why are you still reading that garbage? So if people are flocking to read Harry Potter, and I've never read Harry Potter in my life, and I know it's garbage, what the hell makes you think I'm going to read the Dante's Inferno now? I'm not going to read it. Even if I was living in the 1300s, I wouldn't be reading that garbage. American politics are full of sophistry. It's like, well, I'm not pro-abortion. I'm pro-choice. Meaning, while I understand that abortion is a very ugly thing, I still believe that a woman has the right to have an abortion. It's like, what the hell does that mean? It's like, murder is a very ugly thing. I'm not pro-murder. I'm pro-choice. I think that people have the choice to murder their neighbors if they want to. Your middle name is Dante? That's cool. Maybe they are slow readers. Are you okay? I'm fine. Would you play the Dante video game? Probably not. I don't know. It's just so stupid. It's just so incredibly dumb. I love this article that came out in Reuters. Mariupol defenders surrender to Russia, but their fate is uncertain. It's like Nazis become POWs. We have to feel sorry for them. Not Nazis are being taken prisoner. Okay, why do I give a shit? Canada jury finds sword attacker guilty of first-degree murder. Okay. Let's look at the Russian news. I look at different Russian news sites. Putin considered, I don't care about this. Yemak said that Ukraine asked the West for multiple launch rocket systems. Don't care. This is literally the stuff I read in the news. I'll look at the news and I'm like, let's see. Russian who poured vinegar into the mouth of an 81-year-old mother will go to prison for 17 years. Like this is the kind of stories that I find. You go to Yahoo News. Let's go to Fox News. Let's go to Fox News, guys. What do we find on Fox News? Federal judge rules against the controversial White House plan many feared would worsen border crisis. Archbishop bars Pelosi from receiving Holy Communion. Ex-top Clinton aide. I have an ad blocker, so Fox News doesn't want me on their site. But then I come to this live stream like, dude, did you know that? Dude, did you know that Elon Musk was caught saying that he wants to murder children? Like, wait, what? What? Yeah. I didn't know that, guys. I want to show you guys my brew. This is homemade kombucha made with pears from my tree. So I want to show you guys. Hopefully this thing won't explode, but I'm going to try to be careful, okay? Because this thing can't explode, so hold on. No explosion, which is good. Gosh, I hate this crap. Look at that beautiful head. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's my homemade stuff right there, guys. Actually, my mistake. This is not the pear variety. This is the raspberry. This is the raspberry booch that I made. Excellent stuff. It's light. It's slightly sweet, but it's not sweet in the sense that there's no added sugar to this at all. All the sugar has been consumed by the yeast. But the sweetness, the natural sweetness, comes from the raspberry. So you just get that raw raspberry taste. It's very nice. Very good, guys. How do you make homemade kombucha? I filmed a video for you guys. I'll be putting it together soon. Why don't we pronounce the P in raspberry? My friend, why don't we pronounce the G in the word through? Why don't we pronounce the G in the word neighbor? I think there's a G in the word through because initially it was pronounced through or something like that. Through. Does your cats drive you crazy sometimes? Yes. It's fun watching Ted getting drunk. I'm happy to entertain you. That's what I'm here for at the end of the day. Let's see here. Hillary Clinton okayed giving media Trump Russia info. Okay. There's some really stupid stuff on Twitter. Some guy says the monkeypox cases are in countries welcoming Ukrainian refugees. Lab leak. It's like how the hell do you make the connection? If Roe v. Wade gets overthrown, let's say Roe v. Wade gets gets thrown out, do you think there's going to be riots on the streets? What is a rabbit's favorite beer? IPA because it's so hoppy. Ha ha! Oh, that rooster that I have, he's super healthy because he has sex with literally 15 other hens. My chickens are doing okay. They're all healthy, laying eggs every day. I swear I heard something behind me. Somebody asked about this instrument here. This is the dulcimer. This is the old Appalachian mountain dulcimer from Appalachia, everybody. I don't know if I can play anything. Okay, that's it. I'm not very good at it, but I kind of have fun with it sometimes. Want to get out? Okay, get out. It sounds Indian. Yeah, it does sound similar to a sitar. Thank you. Can I email you a video for you to react? Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Theodore Ted Schubalt, my public page. You can send me whatever you want. Oh, I'm glad you liked the article. I'm so tired of this Christian utopianism stuff. Like, oh, back in the day it was Christendom, and you read back in the day, and you're reading like Dante, worshiping Apollo, and like uh, Niccolo Machiavelli's son was a sodomite, and he had a young boy as a lover. Like, it's really sick stuff. Yes, the rooster has a harem of 15 babes. He's Donald Trump. A man of many mates. It wasn't that good, guys. Heather and I are cool now. I mean, like, we have no issues with each other. Thank you, Joshua. We really have no issues, to be honest with you. Thank you for your interpretation of the Bible. I think you're referring to my father. This idea of old Christian kingdom back in the Middle Ages was garbage. Yep. Oscar Wilde, absolutely. Have you ever heard of Armenian Saint Gregory Narek? Sounds very familiar. I've looked at different Armenian saints. So here's a question I have for you guys. Where do you guys get your news? Where does that come from? You guys go to CNN, Fox News. Where do you guys go? Because I just go to the mainstream stuff. I don't really know of any like crazy websites that give you alternative news. You still have Andrew's email on your website? Yeah, you can still go to that one, email it, but I don't really check it very often, to be honest with you. Google News. Okay. Yeah, I use Google News as well. That's pretty known. How is Andrew doing? I have no idea. I haven't talked to him in a while. Balkan Info YouTube. I went to the local news. I watched Daily Wire. Awesome. Isn't there a website? It's called like Balkan Insight or something. I think it's called Balkan Insight. You've also written some fascinating articles as well. Thank you very much, Chris Zistros 23. Did Andrew get arrested? Yes, he did. Andrew got arrested, and he was charged with child neglect. And we just said, okay, goodbye. And that was it. InfoWars. Are they even still around? Albanian jail uprising. Montenegro promises EU to terminate golden passport scheme. Competition or compliment. Calls to restart Berlin process, revive Balkan dilemma. Man, these titles are so unexciting. Ted, have you heard in the heretical group known as the Tondrakians? I know it sounds like an alien race from Star Trek, but they were real. I have not heard of these guys. But they were like they were a heretical sect in Armenia back in the day. Tondrakians, members of an anti-feudal heretical Christian sect that flourished in medieval Armenia between the early 9th century and the 11th century. Founder of the movement was Simbat Zarehavansti, who advocated the abolition of the church along with all of its traditional rights. Tondrakians denied the immortality of the soul, the afterlife. Also, they were atheists. They supported property rights for peasants as well as equality between men and women. Tondrakians organized their communities in much the same fashion as did the early Christians. They also participated in the peasant revolts of the 10th century, particularly the Ariyat and Sunyak. The Tondrakian movement resembled the Paulician movement. Oh, so they were like atheists. Just translating. Okay, I'm gonna try this out. Balkan info. Balkan info. Serbian. I found their stuff. 456,000 subscribers. Holy moly. This is a real clash of civilization that shakes the whole world. The world is divided before our eyes. Nothing will be the same anymore. Orthodoxy is a thorn on the side of the powerful. That's why they directed all this. Jovana Jeremic. I'm a real star. They will learn about me at the faculties. Goodness. The Duran on YouTube. Okay, let's check this out. I'm looking at it right now. Interesting stuff. EU shock and awe sanction strategy fails. Oil embargo plans crumble. The Fall of the Azov by Jacob Derezin. I love it when people say, "Oh, Azov Battalion it's 20% actual neo-Nazis." Okay, what's the rest? They're Nazi light? Like, what are they? If I was in an organization that had 20% Nazis, what the hell am I doing in that organization? I'm there to fight for my country. Okay, why don't you just join the Ukrainian military? Why do you have to join Azov? Because fight for country. Hello, Sister Tenacious. They are in the thousands. Yes, there are thousands of Azov members. How many people in Ukraine support Azov? That's the question I have for you. How many people in Ukraine support it? Of course, they support it because in defense of country. Okay. So what happens after the war? They're going to stop supporting Azov? Azov was funded. It was funded by Ihor Kolomoisky, who's a billionaire Jew in Ukraine. He's like the third or second richest man in Ukraine or something like that. Millions of Ukrainians support Azov. Well, of course, because they're being invaded by Russia. That's why. Well, I guess you could say the same about all the Russians who are looking at German. We're looking at all the Germans who are looking at Hitler with the doe eyes. Oh, Hitler! Oh, Hitler! Just like with HOS, it will remain a shell of what it is today. HOS. I'm sorry, I don't get the acronym. HOS, Croatian Defense Forces. Oh, paramilitary arm in Croatia. There's a bunch of Croatian fascists in Ukraine who are fighting with Azov. Just like with HOS, it will remain, blah, blah, blah. C-14 and many other Nazi groups and parties in Ukraine. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, guys. We have 32 people on. Damn. When I first got on, it was like 5 people. Now it's 32. Awesome. 33 people now. Hello, everybody. Hello to the 33 people online. Let's talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. Russian people. Some Russian people are very nice people. Some Russian people are like, they're nice, but they do things that in America are considered rude. For example, I was talking to a Russian guy, and I said, "Okay, we're going to talk at this time, okay?" And he says, "Yeah, that's okay." Boom, hangs up the phone. Like, what the hell? What do you think will happen with Ukraine at the end of the year? I have no clue. I think eventually Western Ukraine is going to get hit. If Ukraine breaks down, I think eventually Poland will take chunks of Western Ukraine. I think in the end, Russia is going to have the Donbass. And I think that this whole thing is going to escalate. And what do I mean by that? I don't mean that Germany is going to get involved and blah, blah, blah. I think that eventually what will happen is, and I've said this many times, I think that this war is going to end with a ceasefire. There's going to be a ceasefire. Fighting will temporarily stop. Then it will resume. Russia will continue to fight for territory. And then eventually other countries will get involved once things break down tremendously. I could be wrong, though. I could be completely wrong. This is just a guess. Gonzalo Lira have a very good alternative perspective on the world's current event. Yes, I've looked at his stuff on Ukraine. I think it's fascinating. Very fascinating stuff. I like Lira's point of view on Ukraine. He lives there, and the stuff that he was saying about Ukraine, I think, was quite fascinating. Do you think Ukraine will become like Syria? I think it's already gotten to that point. You see Mariupol, I mean, the whole city is just destroyed. Entire neighborhoods have been destroyed. If you look at so many buildings, I mean, so you see these videos online of these videos, and so many buildings online. You can see these videos of just buildings just wrecked, destroyed. It's horrendous. So much of it. It's already like Syria. It's already come to that point, guys. It's already here. I mean, there was fighting going on for 8 years in Donbass, and now you have this war. It's obvious. Mariupol is like Aleppo, exactly. I think Ukraine will be similar to Yugoslavia. I think eventually there's going to be a Polish involvement in this whole thing. You know, I spoke to the Ukrainian guy today. He's a former member of Ukrainian intelligence, and he told me, he said that if the situation in Ukraine gets bad enough, Poland will just simply take Western Ukraine. It's inevitable. Yeah, Russo-Ukraine and Western Ukraine. Yeah, I agree. Like North and South Korea. I liked your gardening video. I really like your theory. What we have is, yeah, we have a subconscious desire to return to the Garden of Eden. Yeah, I was thinking about that a few days ago. I thought, what if all of this is just a subconscious desire to go back? But what I have been worried for years is our globalist Western leaders desperately poking China. Australia will probably help kick off World War III with China. Ukraine loss of Mariupol has basically Russia a strategic port, yep, for their navy. Music, okay, guys, please don't give me any sort of, what do you guys call that stuff? Don't give me any AC/DC, please. No AC/DC, for the love of God. During the latest round of Israeli airstrikes in Masyaf, Russian Federation Armed Forces anti-defense units opened fire on Israeli Air Force warplanes that were conducting air raids on Syria. This is what I'm talking about. How do you guys find this stuff? I want to know, Sister Tenacious, how did you find this story? How do you guys find this information? If I type in Russia, Israel. Oh, I'm looking at it right now. Russia, there's so much shit happening in the world. How am I supposed to keep track of all this crap? Russia sends a message with first missile attack on Israeli jets in Syrian war. Anti-aircraft, we see you have an ad blocker. You can't read the news. Okay. Lead to an escalation of the Syrian conflict. Could you imagine a war between Israel and Russia? Guys, if there was a war between Israel and Russia, who would you be rooting for? Anna News on the Telegram alternative platform. I'll be rooting for Russia, guys. Who are you rooting for? War between Israel and Russia. Who are you guys rooting for? Who are you guys rooting for? Neither. I'm rooting for Russia, guys. I'm on the side of Russia. All the way. I'm on the side of Russia. To hell with those sodomites. To hell with those sodomites in Tel Aviv. Jews can't fight. I'm siding with Russia. Ruska. Russia, guys. I'm going on Telegram right now. I'm going to look up this Anna News thing. I'm going on Telegram. Checking this out. Absolutely, Russia. Israel, hold on, stop. Russia is not a world champion of AIDS. Maybe abortion, but not AIDS. Do not insult Mother Russia like that. We don't have AIDS, unlike American in San Francisco. You know to be true. You lying right now, Mr. Croat. Anna. Where's the Anna telegram? Oh, Bellum Acta. I follow them on Telegram. How come Russia has so many abortions? I don't know. They're just saturated with atheism, I guess. I don't know. But if I had to choose between Russia and Israel, I think Israel has a huge amount of abortion, so you can't pin it all on Russia. I'm still rooting for Russia because they have the Orthodox Church. Israel's atheist and they're gay. They're like the gayest country in the world. They make America look Christian, which says a lot. That says a lot, guys. Russia is very Orthodox. You're absolutely right. I mean, I know Russian girls can be monsters, but some traditional. 2/3 of AIDS. I'm sorry. What are the numbers in Russia of AIDS? I looked into this and it wasn't. It was America has way more AIDS than Russia does. I know. And yet Israel is still called the Holy Land. Yep. Hey, Sean, I just drank your Ham's beer. It's great stuff, man. I know America is in Europe, but America has way more AIDS. See you later, Olivia. Oh, it's your dad's beer. Okay. Nice. Zero Hedge? Yeah, that's okay. I've looked into them. Israel is just huge with AIDS. Double haram, ham and beer. Double haram, guys. Extensions. I gotta turn off my ad blocker because I can't read anything with my ad blocker on. IPA, nice. What ad blocker do I use? I use ABP, Ad Blocker Plus. It's very good. I'm going to search Ukraine, Israel, and the New York Times is a Telegram channel. Politics. Somebody just sent me a message on Facebook. Also, if you're fond of the Ruski news and don't have the VPN, just read them in Serbian sources. Oh, Tim Pool, I don't watch him. I'm rooting for Russia. All the evangelicals are going to be like, Israel and Russia are at war. This is Gog and Magog, everybody. It's the end times. It's the Antichrist, I tell ya. They're going to invade Jerusalem. And I'm just going to be sitting here like, Slava, Slavu Russia. That's what I'm going to be saying. This booch has almost the smell of dill. It smells like borscht. YouTube is censoring your chat? Oh, damn, dude. That ain't cool. That's cool. Slavu Luhanska. If you're on Telegram, make sure you go to your settings for language and toggle on the Show Translate button. Then tap any post to see drop-down menu and select Translate to read. Oh my gosh, I didn't know this at all. I'm such a... Okay. Exporter of gas, spare baby parts, and AIDS. Russia exports baby parts. Let's see how true this is, guys. I want to see evidence of this. Russia to Israel. I must break you. I'm rooting for Russia, guys. I don't care what anybody tells me. I'm rooting for Russia. Oh, by the way, Israel's also involved in illegal organs trafficking. Listen, where do you think Israel gets all the organs? They get it from North Africa. Illegal organs traffickers will kidnap people. They'll murder people, take their organs, and they send them to Israel for money. That is a fact. You can look into this. Back to talking about the Nazi. Are you still seeing an increase in support for the Azov battalion? Yes. Yes, in America, I see it. In the Western world, I can see it also. Have a recent example? No, I read an article some years ago that talked about organs trafficking and how they are people from Egypt and other parts of North Africa who are murderers, and they will kidnap innocent people for their organs, just like the Albanians were doing, and then they will send those organs out and to Israel. People in Israel will buy them. Mossad versus Spetsnaz. I'm going with the Spetsnaz, guys. Hello, asbestos. Thoughts on the Mossad? Their Israeli intelligence? I'm not really sure. They're probably done some pretty bad things. I think Sister Tenacious is an intelligence agent. I think she's an intelligence agent. I'm saying that humorously, but you know way too much. I think you're involved in the intelligence networks of some sort. I think Sister Tenacious is she must be working for the CIA. She knows too much, guys. She knows too much. Russia would not lose. Russia would beat Israel. Sorry, little Israel has no chance. Somebody just wrote me here. My favorite special forces is none of them. I have no favorite special forces. I wasn't trying to insult you. I was being humorous, Sister Tenacious. I'm saying she works for the CIA. She knows too much. Oh, whether the U.S. will, I don't know. It's hard for me to tell who the U.S. will side with. The U.S. industrial complex supported the buildup of the Third Reich. That's a fact. After World War One, and it would not surprise me that America will do the same in supporting the rise of Germany. But it could be that the Americans will wake up and will join the right side in the future. So, you are growing Carolina Reapers. Those are really hot. I have not tried them, but I heard they're the hottest pepper on earth. So, sounds really good. I love hot stuff. I had a family member in actual intelligence service in USA and division. I'm sure I have debated on Telegram with Glowies. They are everywhere on Telegram. Where will India be in World War III? I have no idea. Probably getting nuked by Pakistan and vice versa. I hope America sides with the good guys in the end. I hope America sides with Russia in the end. That's my dream, is for America to side with Russia. I might get drafted. I'll probably flee down to Mexico. Anyway, guys, I've been here for 2 hours. I think I've been here long enough. I don't know about the music stuff. Buhanka Watch is another channel if you enjoy troop movements and battlefront video coverage, analysis, etc. But the Buhanka chat is full of Nazis. Goodness. Buhanka Watch. Michael de la Broque. I already listened to the Bollywood song. How would you rate Biden's administration? Kind of a joke. I don't know. It's. I don't really look up Biden. I don't really search the guy. I think he's kind of irrelevant. Probably an unpopular opinion. It wouldn't hurt to put kids to work again. If we're to return to our manufacturing glory, we may need to do this. I love the garden fresh green borscht. Oh, I'm glad you like that. Kraftwerk techno pop. All right, I'm gonna indulge you guys for a moment here.
Music non-stop. Techno pop.
It's okay. It's kind of weird. Trevor, I thought you were deaf. Was seeing Shinedown 2 Fridays ago. Hold on, Trevor, I thought you were deaf. How could you hear the noise? Chopo. Hold on. Boy beats on Texas family's door with whip. I guess we do need a special operation in Texas to rid the whole state of racists. Patrick Lancaster has good stuff. Yes, I've looked into him. Teddy's a CIA agent. Chopium is so funny. He's the funniest guy on here. Him and that Romanian guy. You guys are hilarious. BLM, absolutely. Black Lives Matter, absolutely. I'll raise the fist of liberation. Trevor, I don't understand. I thought, Trevor, aren't you deaf? How are you able to hear this? I guess I was being trolled this whole time by Trevor. This whole time he told me he was deaf, and now he's telling me that he can hear the noise. I thought he was deaf. I wonder how many agents are on here. How many CIA guys are on this chat, guys? Harris is going to replace Biden. I hope she does. Bosniak lives matter. I say we raise the fist of liberation. I say we have a NATO invasion of Texas to rid the entire state of racists. Absolutely, Texas is a Nazi problem. British lives matter. Absolutely. Bulgarian lives matter. Absolutely. If you're deaf, how are you able to hear the noise? Oh, definitely. Borscht matters. Absolutely. Completely agree. Borscht, I'm not even Ukrainian, and I love that stuff. Borscht, the depths of flavor that you get into that soup are almost unparalleled. Truly. Almost unparalleled. Soups are weak. Okay, I think I'm getting gaslighted and trolled super hard by Trevor here. He told me years ago that he was deaf. And now he's saying that he can hear the noise. And now I don't know what's, I think I was trolled. I was trolled by this guy. He has a hearing aid. Gotcha. Kamala? I hope Kamala takes over. I hope Kamala becomes the president. Do you know why? So we can finally say America has a black female president. And then anytime somebody says America is a racist, sexist country, I can say nope, because we had Kamala mother frickin' Harris as the president, everybody. And then what will happen is you have Kamala Harris as the president, right? Every conservative website will be blowing up. Harris is a Muslim. Harris is a terrorist. Harris is a communist. Blah, 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 blah. Then you'll see the rise of the right. And it all blows up. And then I can come up on YouTube and say, I told y'all it was happening. The rise of the right. It's happening, everybody. Okay, fine, Trevor, fine. I just don't understand how you can be deaf and you can hear what I'm saying. You have a hearing aid. Okay, I mean, I don't know. I thought when people are deaf, that's it. Like, there's nothing they can do about it. They're deaf. What do you think of the new press secretary? I don't even know who's the new press dude. I don't sit there and read this shit all day. I'm reading about history. I'm reading about Ukraine. I'm reading about I'm not sitting there reading about who's the next press. Like, who cares? All this stuff is freaking irrelevant. Press secretary. Okay, they got a black woman on there. Oh God, the inhumanity that's happening right now. What a crime, guys! It's happening. That's it. Africa's taking over America. Is this what you guys think? I don't know. She's the press secretary. Okay, big flipping whoopity doo. She's gonna go in front of cameras and be like, "Listen, the president didn't really mean that. He was taken out of context, y'all." And then all the conservatives are gonna be like, "She's a lying lesbian bitch." Give me a break. Who cares? None of this stuff is important. When Joe Biden said, "Tie me to a Moab," she's LGBT. I totally guessed that she was. I said the whole lesbian thing. Do you remember remember that movie Deep Blue Sea with the sharks? This is amazing. Karen, her name is Karen Jean Pierre. She's French. She must be from Louisiana. Wait, no, she was born in France. What the hell? See how racist I am? I'm such a racist. I assume because she's African American and she has a French name, I was like, oh, she must be from Louisiana. Actually, she was born in France, Ted. You see how racist I am? I'm such a racist. I think Russia needs to invade Texas and put me in an education camp to get the Nazism out of me. I'm such a racist. I'm such a racist, guys. I'm not gonna lie. She lives in Washington, D.C. Oy vey. She attempted suicide. She's lesbian. Oh, I was right. I didn't even know. I guessed it, that she was lesbian. CNN says Nancy Pelosi banned from receiving communion. I'm sorry, that's only by the Archbishop of San Francisco. And the last I checked, the Archbishop of San Francisco is not the Pope, although he should be made the Pope. I would totally be in favor for the Archbishop of San Francisco being the Pope. That way the Croatians can finally shut their mouths and start praising San Francisco. You look just like a white Russian soldier I saw online. Really? I didn't know. I'm Slavic? Or what? I look Slavic all of a sudden? It's the curly hair, guys. It's the Semitic curly hair. I'm going to clip that. Go ahead. The joke here in Illinois is how we all think Lori Lightfoot looks like Beetlejuice. Lori Lightfoot is hideous. That is an ugly, ugly woman, let me tell you. I think Croatia needs to be denazified. I think Russia... I'm going to stop. No, I'm not going to stop. I think Russia needs to invade Croatia to get rid of all the racists. Do you play Call of Duty? I have, yes. I assume that's your bread and butter if you play at all. Guys, I'm a Resident Evil fan all the way. I love Resident Evil, guys. Resident Evil is an amazing game. I'm trying to play... I have not played video games in months, guys. I hate it. It sucks. I need to play video games again. Some Serbian guy said that I am Albanian. So I don't know what I am, guys. I'm racially confused. I don't know what the hell I am. Am I Middle Eastern? Am I white? European? Like, I don't know what I am. I'm Caucasian, I guess you could say. What would you do if you had an LGBT offspring? I would disown the person. I would say gone. Be gone. Resident Evil leaked COVID. I don't own a Beretta. No, I own a Smith & Wesson. Yes. If a Serb called you Albanian, lock your doors and prepare. Yeah, there was this Serbian lady who was following my stuff, and then she told me that her boyfriend told her to stop watching my YouTube videos because I am an Albanian. I don't watch Beetlejuice. I've never watched that. I watched a little bit when I was a little kid, and I thought, this is insane. I'm not watching this crap. Who watches that crap, Beetlejuice? It's garbage. Glock 19 is the best handgun. What about the Smith & Wesson SD9? That's a pretty good pistol. Yeah, this Serbian guy was like, he's Albanian, I tell you, Albanian guy. We have 27 people up on here. I think Russia should invade the entire world. Russian domination of the whole. If Russian tanks were going through my neighborhood, I'd be waving the Russian flag. I'd be one of those guys in the street. And then some guy would film me and then put me on a Telegram account and be like, look, American guy loves Russian soldiers, waves the Russian flag. You see, Russian military is not bad. He was afraid Albanian would steal his girl. There was death penalty reserved. Well, I haven't spoken to this woman in years, so maybe you're right. I don't know. Silent Moon by Jia Pengfong. Jia Pengfong. Jia. 家平房暴动暴不动暴动 here to talk ting ma. That's what Chinese sounds like to me. She is no more. Chopian, I swear you are a really funny guy. I haven't spoken to this woman in years. What happened was she was believe it or not, when I first started my Facebook page, one of my first followers was a Serbian woman. One of the first, like I'm talking basically the night that I created the Facebook account, she pops up. And we start talking and she tells me that she likes my work and all this stuff. And so for years, her and I would talk, and there was nothing bad that was going on. We would just talk about politics, Serbia, whatever. And then she tells me that she has a boyfriend. And she says, my boyfriend doesn't want me to look at your stuff anymore because you're Albanian. So I was like, okay. And then her and I talked a few times after that. And then eventually she got married. And then, no more. So Leviathan Animal Rights Group? No. I have interviewed Chopo several times. Leviathan Animal Protection Agency assassinated. I just wish Google would enable live captions with live stream the way Skype and Microsoft Teams can give me the option to turn it on. I'm sorry about that, man. It was the way that Chopo said it. That's just hilarious. Oh, Serbians who are beating Roma. That's disgusting. Disgusting nationalism. There are these LARPers in Serbia. There was a guy, what was his name? Brankovic, I think his last name was. Serbian guy. He used to go around harassing refugees, and then it turned out recently that he was some kind of a professional provocateur. Let me look this up real quick. Dating, marriage, intimacy, horror stories. Let me think. Horror stories. I was listening to Destiny recently, Stephen Bonnell, and he was talking about how like poor people in America live really messed up lives, and he was talking about how in America, when poor people are living in their homes are always like dirty, and that's true. Like if you look at people in America who are considered poor, yeah, usually their houses look like shit. But I think that's because they like to live like shit. I think if you were to give them more money, they'd still live like shit. I don't see why in America it's like living poor automatically means you live dirty. Like, why can't you be poor but still have pride in your work? Why can't you be poor and still have pride in your life? That's what I don't understand. Silent Moon? Hold on. I'm listening to it right now. American equals lack of motivation. Yep, that's a problem here. This music is very sad. Destiny is not a communist, man. He's a social democrat. Chopo, Heather will always try to say that it's not nationalism when it really is nationalism. You listen to this when it's raining. This is a good vibing rain music. I totally agree. There was a Serbian nationalist that I wrote about years ago. Let me try to find the article. Here it is. Bratislav Zivkovic. That's his name. Bratislav Zivkovic. That's his name, guys. This guy was a crazy nationalist who used to harass refugees. And the guy's a complete provocateur. He's an absolute evil bastard. I'm listening to this Chinese music as I'm talking to you guys right now. It's pretty cool. Oh, look, I found him 2 months ago. He's still around, this guy? He gained a bunch of weight. He used to be really thin. Hatsi Bratislav Zivkovic evokuje sve teritorije Ukrajine. This guy's still around? I can't believe that. But this guy used to harass refugees. Maybe he still does it. I don't know. He used to go around and used to kick them around and harass them. Z is more like a J. Oh, I see. Zivkovic, Bratislav Zivkovic. Yeah, sure. Send me the Russian music. EAP123. This music tastes like orange chicken. Got to go to the Bible study later. All right, man. Peace. Heather, when does nationalism stop being nationalism? When I'm talking about when nationalism escalates in intensification. When does it stop being nationalism? Don't you live in Indonesia? Aren't you in Indonesia? I found a clown on the attic. Somebody has a Russian song for me. Somebody asked me to play music. Hold on. Indonesia. Didn't Indonesia butcher a bunch of people in East Timor? That was pretty horrific. Léger. Oh, this is some Russian rap music. I guarantee it. It sounds like Russian rap. Yeah. This is like Russian hood music. It's Russian hood music.
Я так не могу, сон дарит сны, я когда-нибудь усну. Молодым этот дым дарит улыбки, жизнь на листах, нечем стирать ошибки. Не поздно все исправить и начать все сначала, разобрать все в мысли.
You found a clown?
Я для тебя, брат, буду строить мосты.
I'm lowering down the rap music. You found this damn thing in your house? I throw that shit in the trash. Looks like an Annabelle. That's a Eustacia Annabelle doll. That's a Eustacia SS Annabelle doll. It has the spirit. It has the spirit of who was the guy in the. Hold on. Who was the leader of the Eustacia? What was his name? Ante Pavlich. It has the spirit of Ante Pavlich in it. Run. It has the spirit of Ante Pavlich. Supposedly the lyrics are about Big Brother talking to his little brother. Interesting. What's he telling him? Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. Don't drink vodka. Heather, I think you're talking about patriotism. I think you're talking about patriotism, Heather. You found this doll in your house? How long has it been sitting there? That's creepy, man. That is creepy. That's creepy, dude. That's like an old school looking puppet. That doll. Yeah, Suharto. That's right. Yeah. But didn't he butcher a bunch of innocent people? Didn't the Indonesians kill and rape a bunch of people? Yeah, Chopo sent me a photo of it on Facebook. It's real, guys. He found a doll, a clown in his house. So Far, So Good by Thornley. Don't do drugs. Don't drink vodka. Go to church. Don't make the same mistake I did. So Far, So Good. Let's listen to this.
I feel a little bit left inside. Before. Don't you tell me see the lost girls come. There's nothing else, nothing more.
This is nice. Nice. All these songs are men obsessed with some woman. Yeah, but didn't he butcher tons of people? Weren't tons of people butchered and raped in East Timor? If you can't say it, I understand. Vodnik music. Oh, my eyes. Staring at a screen too long, guys. Imagine the song starts singing that song by Thompson. Chopo, you should be a film director for a horror movie. You can really get the shots right. You will. Somebody sent me their Russian song. Okay. This is Russian hood music from the ghetto of Moscow, guys. From the hood of Moscow. From 2012, the song. I guess Russians want to be black. I don't know. They want to be like African Americans. Meat Cleaver by Brother Lynch Hung is about how he used to chop up ladies and eat. What the hell? That's horrific. Tonson, yeah, the singer from Croatia. Brother Lynch. Is this for real? This is pretty horrific, guys. This is not good. Be a thug, guys. Kevin Daniel Mann, better known as Brother Lynch Hung. Yeah, this is sick. This guy, I don't think he even performs music anymore. His last album was in 2013. Who would listen to this crap? Tram 11, Pas Sistema, official version. OBS. The thing with the screen sharing, it's like, it's so much easier just to turn the camera on and just start talking. Tram 11, Pas Sistema. Is this rap music?
Nemam kune, da ne skupi hita, niti napuhani pleme što se zove elita. Skitalica, nema narodnog radija, niti vrđanskih nica, nema propalica, niti invalidskih kolica, nema cinkanja susjeda, nema svađa ni spisalica, ljigave glasbe, niti smeća sa estrade, nema osobe što krade.
By the way, this song has 20 views on YouTube. Chucky, yeah, exactly. Diabolic, I don't want to rhyme. EAP123, are you African American? I'm wondering. Diabolic, I don't want to rhyme.
Yo, engineer, I think I lost my motherfucking mind, man. Diabolic, foul play. Taking over the motherfucking.
It's amazing how America has corrupted the world, where this garbage music is in Russia, Serbia, all over the world.
I remember being on my mama's porch, a kid with rotten thoughts, tossing tomahawks at kids to knock them off.
I mean, truly, what is rap music? Like, this type of music is the glorification of being a loser. You know, it's like, I was poor, but I'm proud of the fact that I was poor. I was living in a neighborhood where my mom took drugs and this and that and this, and I'm going to glorify that with music or something like that. And it's not healthy. This is not healthy. You ain't white? Okay, that's cool. No judgment. Serbian rap music. Yeah, I just played it. I was Croatian. What's the difference at the end of the day? That's not Serbian. That's Croatian rap. I can tell the difference, man. There's a slight intonation and inflection in the voice. Don't you know? The commander of the Azov regiment was captured by the Ruskies. Good for Russia. Slava Russia. German rap? No, please, God, no. I don't want to listen to this. Goodbye, Joshua George. Have a good night. God bless y'all. Balkanoid rap. The Nazis in the Donbass. When I hear that Nazis have been arrested, I'm happy with that. I don't care if they're Russian Nazis or Ukrainian Nazis. I don't care. The Russian side claims that he gave himself... Oh my God, these pop-ups. Go away. Denis Prokopenko, the commander of Azov, has been taken by the Russians. Slava Russia. That's all I have to say. That asshole has been being promoted in American media as some kind of hero. Even CNN brought this asshole onto their broadcast. They said, "Oh, we have a commander of Azov." The Russians got this bastard. Good. 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 Good riddance. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. I'm tired. I honestly, as an American, I sound like such an asshole when I say it. As an American, I am very disgusted when I see Nazis on CNN, and like as if they're heroes. No, nonsense. Thousands of people didn't die in Normandy Beach, so we can bring the bastards onto CNN. That's bullshit. That's freaking bullshit. Execute the whole lot of them. That's all I have to say. Dmitry Utkin. Listen, if Dmitry Utkin was arrested, I wouldn't have an issue with it either. No more rap, please, guys. Enough. You're raping my brain with this stuff. Enough. This Utkin guy looks like a monster, by the way. He looks like a serial killer. But he is mercenary. That's the thing, guys. He's mercenary. He's not officially a part of the Russian military. In Ukraine, the Nazis are in the military. They're officially a part of it. Mastodon? I don't know what the hell that is. What's a mastodon? Yes, Americans are more concerned. Americans don't care about Ukraine. I agree. I remember Normandy, absolutely. This Elon Musk Twitter deal doesn't make me feel all warm and fuzzy. I agree. I don't trust any of those people, no. He's a veteran of the Russian military and had gotten state medals for his bravery when fighting Syrian limbs with a shovel. Was Utkin involved in the torturing of that Syrian guy? Guys, I'm not in support of Wagner. I don't know how many times I have to say this, like a billion times. I don't support Wagner. But the Russian military's defeat of Nazis in Ukraine, I'm totally for. Your favorite news source for Eastern news, like Eastern European. There's a whole bunch of them that I visit. Not that we hate those countries, we just want to care for us. So I understand where you're coming from, Heather. Yeah, Wagner did that crime. Yes, they were Wagner fighters who murdered that man. Yes, it was horrific. I know. I don't support. I don't know. I don't support that stuff. Oh, Russia and Ukraine. There's a number of them. There's a great Polish website called Kresy, Kresy. I write it down for you guys. Kresy.pl. It's a Polish news site. Very good. Very balanced. Pravda is another one. Here it is. You can look at Pravda. Yeah, there's KP, which is good too. Chopo, you're clever with your jokes. Pravda, yes, Pravda, the truth. That's what Pravda means. The formula shortage angers me the most, along with certain medical supplies that are used in diagnostics. I agree. I don't know why are there shortages in baby formula. How did this happen? I don't know. How did this happen, guys? How did this shortage happen? I don't get this. How few producers. You know what the baby? Here's the thing. There's no baby formula, right? Just go back to breastfeeding. Is that a wrong take to make? Tell me why I'm wrong. There's a shortage of baby formula. That's what breasts are for. Isn't that what breasts are for? Like, why can't they just go back to breastfeeding? I mean, I'm not going to say anymore. I'm just asking: is that a wrong take to have? Of just okay, there's no baby formula. Go back to breastfeeding. I'm not going to say anymore. I was going to make a joke about it, but I'm going to stop. Formula One racing, but it's not wrong. Okay, somebody tell me I'm wrong. Nestle would send out samples of baby formula to Africa, but only enough to where the women's breast would stop producing milk, and because they can't afford it, the baby what? From 2012, I'm reading about this baby formula, the Nestle scandal in Africa. Jake Tran. Sensationalist, yeah. I'm looking at his stuff. It says, we're going to starve to death. Drake transgender. Jake Trans has a sus name. Breastfeeding, one of the many uses for... Jay Tran is Alex Jones for people who are not living in caves with Wi-Fi access. He needs his money. He can't appear too Russian friendly. How many women on Earth are not able to breastfeed? Like, is there a statistic on this? How many women can't breastfeed? Only 1 to 5% of women cannot breastfeed. Okay, great. So 1 to 5% of women can't breastfeed, and now it's like a whole conundrum about it. Pull the tit out and start breastfeeding the child if you can't buy baby formula. Good grief. End of story. Problem solved. I should be the president of the United States. If I was the president, I'd be like, Mr. President, how do you deal with the shortage of baby formula? I'd be like, isn't that what breasts are for? Most controversial president in American history. Oh, kitty, 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 baby. You kitty, 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 baby. You kitty. Oh. Say hi. He just woke up, so he's a little cranky. He's a very beautiful cat. Yes, you are. You're a very, very good-looking kitty. He's too fat to lay on my lap. Oh, stop it! Stop. He's a big drama queen. This guy. I don't know why. Just breast. I don't know what the big deal is. Yeah, he's about 20 pounds. This cat is huge. He's mixed with Maine Coon. Kitty. Oh, baby. Oh, he's great, grumpy when he wakes up from his nap. How old is the cat? He's about 2 years old. 2 years old. Just turned 1. Happy birthday, Kitty. Yeah, he's a total drama queen. He's sleeping on the floor. I can't believe it. Yeah, crazy cats, I know. You have 6 cats? Awesome. Cats are cool. Cats are nice animals. They will eat any. If you have if you're afraid of flies being in your house, I have no flies in my house. Even though it's summer, flies are out, mosquitoes are out, insects are out in the country. Cats eat it. They eat everything. You became a cat person? That's awesome. My dad was right. Catnip and milk? I have some catnip tea. I was drinking it today. It's very nice, actually. Hedgehogs eat snakes. That's awesome. He's sleeping on the floor right now. I don't know why he's sleeping on the floor. Why don't you get up? Oh. Look at this kitty cat. Isn't he adorable? Predictions for 2022 midterm elections. I think the Republicans are going to dominate. That's my prediction. Oh, stop it. He's always complaining, this cat. Oh, enough. Doesn't this cat look evil? But you were wrong about 2020? Then why the hell did you ask me for my prediction then? This cat is, remember, he's Antifa. He's a Black Cats Matter, BCM, Black Cats Matter, raising the fist of liberation. That's good that you feed your cat. It's good that you feed your cat liver. It's really good for them. It's Nazis. Goodness. Tell me what is not going to happen. I don't know. I can't really predict the future that well. Black sh. Just pointing it out. No need to get angry. I wasn't angry at all. If that to you is anger, then goodness, you must be a very sensitive person. See how I reversed it on you? See, I know exactly what you're doing. I reversed it right on you. You must be a very sensitive person if that was anger for you. It's Nazis. Is that a pro Azov YouTube channel or what? Or is it anti-Azov? I'm looking up your YouTube channel right now. You have an interesting channel. Are you Ukrainian or Russian or what are you? You're rooting for Putin. Awesome. Slava Rusa. You're American. Okay, cool. Which part of America are you from? That's got to be a troll channel. There's a cool retro poster on Etsy that has a red Soviet cat slashing a black swastika. Awesome. Kill the fascist snake. Washington State. Damn. Isn't that where a lot of alt-right guys are at? In Seattle. I noticed the Pacific Northwest, they have a good amount of, what do you call them? Alt-right guys. The apocalypse feels empty. Is this you talking, or is this just a repost?
Internet sucks.
Is this you talking, or is this a repost of somebody else? All weirdos are here, left, right. Yep, I know. The Pacific Northwest, man, full of crazies. Oh, cool, 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 cool. Maybe one day we can do a video conversation if you would like. Defeat the fascist snake. Awesome. Hey, anything anti-fascist, I'm all for. This pussycat just wants to lay on the floor all day. I don't know why. It started raining and he was outside and he was meow, meow, meow. I said, okay, come in, kitty. He wants to sleep on the floor. According to my brother, Washington State is nothing but a pothead state. Yep, absolutely. I'll let you know when I have bandwidth. Awesome, man. Let me know. Your thoughts on the famous Croatian anti-fascist partisan Vrovnik Frank Tudman. I know this name. First president of Croatia. I don't really know much about it. I've never studied Mr. Tudman. I think anywhere where you have a strong far left presence, you have a strong far right presence. I think that the two need each other to exist. You cannot have an effective, strong presence of far right militants without the strong presence of far left militants. They literally need each other to exist. If you do not have the far left, you don't have the far right, and vice versa. If they don't exist, then what you're left with is just regular conservatives and social democrats at this point. The radicalism begins when the two moderate mainstream factions begin to splinter, and those splinter groups begin to leave the Overton window. Once you have that, then you have the existence of fanaticism. That's my observation. Yeah, Antifa is anti-fascist, I know. Pumpkin. Oh, what a cute name for a kitty. Had to be put down. Oh, good grief. Lost so much weight, I understand. World War II anti-fascist partisan who later became the first president of Croatia, founder. Okay. I need to read more about him. I stand corrected on the troll comment, but when you see a name like that, it usually is a troll. Another settlement needs your help. Here, I'll mark it on your map. Modern commies are just LARPers since you cannot survive a day on true commie state like Soviet Union or North Korea. Well, when you go to Europe, you see these far-left Antifa people. Supreme leader during the 90s war. Interesting. Magic is our main cat. Pumpkin. Heather, are these cats of yours outdoor cats or are they indoor cats? Like this big guy here, he's an outdoor cat. How long have I been here, man? It's 7 p.m. my time already. Surviving in communism is easy. Just knock on a door and say, my need is greater than yours, and take what you want. Interesting. I've been to Seattle. No. Yeah, I went to Portland years ago, but I just stopped in the airport. And then from Portland, we drove to some town in Oregon. And it's a weird place, man. America, I don't think there's a country like America, with the exception of Canada. But Canada is basically America. There's no country like America. America is a country that is filled with contradictions. You have very good people in America, but at the same time, America is a country that's full of weirdos. We have a big weirdo problem in America. No, I don't want to hear a Kitty song, please. If it's rap music, I don't want to listen to it. Canada is America light. I went to Canada, and honestly, I didn't have the feeling like I was in a different country. In all fairness, there were times where I did feel like I was in a different country. When I saw some of the houses, how they were structured, that a lot of the homes in Canada are super small and they're all jammed up like England. But you can find stuff like that in New York. And then you would find a lot of people in Canada with Irish accents. I don't know. The history between America and Canada is very interesting. There was a war between the French and the English. It was called the French and Indian War. The reason why it was called the French and Indian War is because the English used Native Americans as proxies against the French, and vice versa. The French used Native Americans as proxies against the English, and the English won. But that battle was super, super bloody. A lot of butchering that happened in that conflict in the 18th century, or was it 17th century? I don't remember. And then after America declared independence, there was a continual conflict between loyalists and Americans. They were Americans, people who wanted America to exist. They wanted an independent America. And they were loyalists. These were people who lived in America, but they were still loyal to Great Britain. And a lot of these loyalists were bastards. They were very violent. They did terrorist attacks on Americans, and they would utilize violent Native Americans on them. And there were some pretty horrific stories that you can read about that. Tell the KGB your neighbor is squatting incorrectly. What do you think about the Foiba pits? Guys, you guys ask me stuff I have no idea about. I don't know any of this stuff, guys. Let me look it up. We're here to learn, right? I think seriously, the Friday live streams are days where you guys teach me. The rest of the days is me trying to teach you guys stuff. The Friday live streams is where you guys teach me stuff. Like, you guys teach me stuff I don't even know. Foiba pits, Yama in South Slavic languages, scientific legal vocabulary, type of deep natural sinkhole, doline, or sink, and is a collapsed portion of bedrock above a void. Sinks may be a sheer vertical opening into a cave. That's interesting. They are common in the karst region, shared by Italy and Slovenia, as well as in a karst of Dinaric Alps in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Montenegro and Croatia. Creepy. During and right after the end of World War II, the Yugoslav partisans killed hundreds of Italians by throwing their still living bodies into the Foibe. This event is known as Foibe massacres. Oh my gosh, that's creepy. Did they bury them alive? Oh man, this is horrifying. Simply, the Foibe refers to mass killings both during and after. See, every time Chopo sends something to me, I'm like, it has something to do with the massacre. It always has something. There's a hidden message behind everything this guy sends. Mass killings both during and after World War II, mainly committed by Yugoslav partisans against the local ethnic Italian population, Istrian Italians and Dalmatian Italians, mainly in Julian March, Istria, Kvarner, and Dalmatia, against people associated with fascism, Nazism, and collaborationism. Foibe massacres. Estimated number of people killed in the Foibe is disputed, varying from hundreds to thousands. According to some sources, 11,000 or 20,000. The Italian historian Raul Pupo estimates 3,000 to 4,000 total victims, etc., etc. The events were also part of larger reprisals in which tens of thousands of Slavic collaborators of Axis forces were killed in the aftermath of World War II, following a brutal war in which some 800,000 Yugoslavs, the vast majority civilians, were killed by Axis occupation. So it looks like they were killing Italian fascists as a reprisal against whatever the hell whatever horrors the fascists were committing. Communism and fascism are mirror of each other. Didn't bury them. These are holes in the rocks. Dark pits made of sharp stone. They didn't kill only Italians, and they didn't kill only fascists. They killed anyone who was considered any sort. Tough stuff. All right, I've been here for 3 hours. I don't know if there's anything more that I can say other than women need to go back to breastfeeding, and then we won't have to worry about formula shortages. They didn't discriminate their opposition based on ideology. Did they just kill people? Did they kill people because they thought they were fascist? I will notify my wife. It's about time to get some dinner. Enjoy it. What's up with your dad? He's doing okay. I am a proud millennial. Okay, I'm gonna end this live stream. It's been 3 hours, guys. Now we have 29 people. Man, I'm tempted to stay longer because we got 29 people here. Will you or have you ever made a video addressing your thoughts on Book of Enoch? No, I have not. I don't really care about the Book of Enoch. I don't know. It just doesn't really. It doesn't sound interesting to me. I read a little bit of it, and it was a book in some sect called the Essenes, I think. There were many people like Miroslav Bulisic and others who didn't have any relations with the regime. So it looks like they just took the opportunity to kill whoever they wanted to kill. Is that what you're saying? I'm a proud millennial. Thank you, Catherine. All right. I think I'm done. I think we're cool. Enjoy your guys' weekend. God bless you. You guys just heard some theology. Well, actually, it's the opposite. I heard some chat logy today. So goodbye and God bless and have a good weekend.